This particularly affected the Telltale tool the game engine used since the company's inception, which caused numerous bugs in released episodes that Telltale became infamously noted for. The anonymous QC tester stated that their department was nearly always under church time, working from 48 to 60 hours a week on testing at least 2 game series across multiple platforms simultaneously, and were understaffed, leading to some of the quality control issues as well. During this time, the 8th generation of video game consoles emerged, and while Telltale tool was ported to these platforms, it showed its age and graphics quality, which also diminished Telltale's products. There was also a new trend of major AAA titles incorporating deep storytelling, such as God of War, which Telltale would not easily be able to compete with. The company was also hobbled by working with established IP and inconsistencies in the reviewing process with management that led to last-minute reworking of some episodes. The Verge also found some of the employees they spoke to had stated that top-level executives, including Bruner, had become fixated on the format that The Walking Dead presented, making decisions that prevented developers from looking at alternative formats and variations from this formula, stifling creativity and leading to several staff departures prior to the 2017 layoffs. According to narrative designer Emily Grace Buck, management would frequently demand rewrites of materials, with most games having between 60 and 90% of the content reworked after executive review. Bruner and management created a culture of fear of demotion and firing among developers. Some of these rewrites had come days prior to an episode submission date of certification, creating hasty rewrites and that filtered through the entire production process. This rush curated some of the apparent bugs in the Telltale tool, which Buck stated were more often a result of inability to smooth out hastily reworked animations, as well as perpetuating the crunch time culture within the company. Other cases of narrative rewrites were a result of different expectations by some of the executive management. Buck stated that they had originally been driven by management to make Minecraft Story Mode as more of a mature game, but eventually reworked this to be a family-friendly title. While for their Guardians of the Galaxy game, the story writers had written a story that felt more true to the humor and wit of the source material, but were told by management to make a darker story. Further, anonymous sources from Telltale stated that very few of the games were profitable, with only The Walking Dead the first season and Minecraft Story Mode and revenues from publishing 7 Days to Die turning a profit. Batman, the Telltale series released in 2016, was said to be one of the worst commercial failures for the company. On March 15, 2017, Bruner announced he had stepped down as CEO of Telltale, though Variety reported that he had been voted out of this position by the board of directors. Bruner turned the day-to-day operations to Connors while still remaining on the board of directors. Bruner said, "The time has come to pass the reins to someone that can better drive Telltale to the next level and realize all the potential that is here." Pete Hawley, the former VP for games at Zynga was announced as the new CEO, with Connors remaining on its board and acting in an advisory role. Rather than other corporate fixers who would take control for a temporary period to help regain its financial footing, Hawley committed to staying with Telltale after helping the company to get past these problems. Brunner filed a lawsuit against Telltale in relation to his departure in June 2018, citing financial damages as he had been seemingly removed from the board of directors and thus could not gain information related to Telltale's financial status, in anticipation of selling off a portion of his shares in the company. Telltale stated that the claims were meaningless. In November 2017, a restructuring of the company cut about 90 positions, about a quarter of their staff, which was not expected to affect the release of any existing projects. Hawley said that the restructuring was for reorienting our organization with a focus on delivering fewer, better games with a smaller team. While Telltale had not stated which positions were let go in the restructuring, sources speaking to US Gamers stated that most were part of the management structure that led to these problems. Coupled with Hawley's appointment as CEO, this was expected to be a turning point to help revitalize Telltale. In its response to Brunner's lawsuit from June 2018, Telltale stated that the company is now working to turn around the decline that it experienced under Brunner's stewardship. Kent Muddle, the creative director for The Walking Dead, the final season, stated that the new management had shown a great deal of effort to turn the studio around from the previous uses, with executives staying more hands-off than reducing the amount of micromanagement of the creative teams. In June 2018, Telltale announced a partnership with Netflix for the streaming service to provide its games for subscribers, with the first planned game being Minecraft Story Mode. Alongside this, Telltale announced that they were working on a yet untitled game based on Netflix's original property, Stranger Things. According to Variety, there had been suggestions of teaming with Netflix for collaboration shortly after Stranger Things first aired in mid-2016, but Telltale's management at the time, including Brunner, rejected the idea. The Netflix partnership solidified after Hawley took over as CEO. The Stranger Things game would have been used to bridge the show's story between its second and third season. In addition to this game, Telltale had started working with Night School Studio in 2017 for them to make a first-person narrative-driven game that would have led into Telltale's game. However, Night School reported difficulty in cooperating with Telltale over 2018, and were also surprised by the studio's sudden closure. Majority Studio closure and aftermath 2018. On September 21st, 2018, CEO Pete Hawley announced that Telltale was undergoing a majority studio closure, with around 90% of its present workforce, 225 to 250 employees, let go that day.